What's up, everybody? Welcome to the final TogetherMess Big Brother after show. We didn't officially name what this was, and the season's over, so that's what it is. But
it's the final countdown.
What an ending. I don't know about you guys, but we were shocked in this house. I'm sure you guys were too. We actually, before we brought a guest on, okay, I'm gonna bring him in later. Okay, his name is Richard James, and he's an astrologer, and he predicted who would win Big Brother. That was the reasoning we had him on the show. We thought Morgan was going to win, so we weren't going to have a lot of to talk about. It was very predictable. Turns out it's a very unpredictable finale.
That's what I said is so great about Big Brother. You never know. There can be somebody like Morgan winning all the competitions, and then that other person just slides right on in and wins the last competitions when you need to. And listen, Ashley had a wonderful speech.
She did. She won it. I think she had the numbers anyway, but the speech really put it over the top.
She was so good. And I kept laughing when Julie
trying to
cut her off because she was so professional, so poised, so just like really lawyer talking. She was so great.
Putting everything back, the question back into the words, like boom, directing it right there.
So congratulations to Ashley.
Absolutely.
It's again, it's a game. There's so many different ways that you can win Big Brother. You can be a comp beast, you can be social, you can have both. And good on her.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, super happy Keanu won America's favorite player. He deserved that. I think he's a very humble guy. We're going to get him on the show, not only for you guys on a regular podcast, but also for our kids because they really want to say hi to Keanu.
Oh, yeah, they love him. And we have some questions for him. But yeah, it was, I think, a great finale just because it wasn't predictable. Everybody thought Morgan, we did a thing for Us Weekly and other Big Brother alumni. Wrote on there who they thought were going to win, and pretty much everybody wrote Morgan.
Yeah, I was going to say, on mine, I wrote up Morgan pretty much has this locked up, but it'd be very interesting if Ashley won the final two or the final three. She won 2 out of the 3 and brought Vinny. That's what I wrote for Us Weekly. That would be very interesting for us viewers. So that's the way it played out. I think Morgan did play a better game, but Ashley made the right move in getting rid of Morgan, just like you did on your season, on our season, got rid of Kevin. That was the move.
Do you think Ashley would have lost against Morgan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
even with that speech.
You know, I don't know, because Rachel, again, was very close with Ashley. So I think she had a lot of sway in there. So, and she was part of that Judges Alliance. That would have been interesting, but the move was it would have been close. The move was to get rid of Morgan and put yourself in that final position to win the game. And she gave great speeches and she won. And I think I think Vinny burned too many bridges. I think his final speech was all right, but he was getting smoked in all the questions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he just burned. I hate that phrase. And I just said it at the end of the day. He didn't have enough. Too many bridges. And again, people say Big Brother backstab, play any way you want. Obviously, this season it didn't work. He backstabbed half the house, and he got 1 vote at the end. Yeah.
And then, what did you think about the Mastermind reveal? So when I'm watching, and when Benny and Ashley are playing the competition, the unmask, the Mastermind, and Will comes out, and I was like, okay, this is stupid. Like, they have these cops out. It's like this scene. I go, that's it? This whole season, this Mastermind? And you're just showing him running across this competition in handcuffs? This is dumb. And I was like, there's got to be more to it. So then when they showed Jesse and Frankie, and I don't know who that other guy was.
I forgot his
when
name.
They all unmask. And then they show the clues. I was like, oh, okay. Now that's good. And they were showing like little hints, like Jesse's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I liked it. But
at
first,
Big Jeff made an appearance on CBS. That hasn't happened in a long time. I got to get on the show for a half a second. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. It was funny. I'm glad to see Jesse on there, like I said, we're still friends. Anytime he gets some shine, I think he's a Big Brother legend himself. And so I was happy to see
think
him.
he has the most appearances
I think
on
so.
Big Brother.
People
and
are
he's
catching up.
great. I wish him like a lot of success.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing into the character that he is. So I really like Jesse. Frankie makes an appearance now every single year.
Yeah,
You
and
know, so
he's good.
we kind of see the same people over and over.
Yeah,
But
and Cody, I thought did a great job
Yeah.
at the round table. I thought how he kept it going, and he seemed very natural and very comfortable. It wasn't forced.
yeah, and Riley, what's her name again? Man, seeing like some people, I don't know about you guys. I was like, what's
I was
that girl's?
asking who?
I'm like, what's that? Who's that? That girl, Amy, who was the mastermind's accomplice in the beginning. I even remember her. But Catherine and Riley, seems like they got a little something going on. So I guess all that stuff that happened with them kind of blew over. It was a pretty big deal. It made TMZ. And
I know. I
that
think
was a little
people
crazy.
just like blow things out of proportion just to get, some attention.
Yeah.
And then everybody, again, we've talked about this. The show is really hard, is mentally hard. And I feel bad for house guests when other people are bashing them. And Riley, people were really like on him and making him look like he was this person. And I'm glad, obviously, he wasn't, because him and Catherine are together.
Right. And they saw everything that happened. And
yeah.
obviously they were there when it happened.
I wasn't sure if he was going to be there at the finale.
Yeah. Well, that's all said and done. So the season's over now. I thought it was a great season. People always write, I'm done watching in the comments, never watching again. You're tuning in next year. So stop. For real. But I thought it was a great season, and I really liked the way it ended. Again, I thought Morgan deserved the money, but I love his shakeup. I love an underdog story. I thought it was a great season. I really did. So
I did too.
Let's take some questions, because you guys are in there rearing to go. Thanks again for tuning in all season long and getting those questions.
And thank you for being here tonight. I know it's late. I had to put my kids to bed before I came down here to do this, so I appreciate you guys even being here.
Yeah, we had a long day. My dad's in the other room reading a book, trying to get some sleep, and we're down here screaming about Big Brother. But yeah, let's get some questions in, and then before we bring in our guest, Richard James.
Are the boys happy Keanu won America's Favorite Player? They are. They were really tired tonight, so they didn't sit down and watch with us like they normally do. I told them upstairs that he won America's Favorite, and they were very excited.
Yeah, they're, again, from the beginning, they were Team Keanu because he looks like Maui if you're just tuning in from Moana. So they love him, and I think America loves him too. 65% of the votes. That's a pretty big chunk.
Do you think Morgan spent so much time with Vinny that she didn't get to know the other house guests, which cost the game?
I don't think it cost her the game. I think she would have won the game.
I think she just got in her head.
Yeah.
At the last. I mean, that is crucial. But at the final like that, when it's those true false questions and they confuse you, you got to know them.
Yeah. I didn't know a lot of them. I was playing along at home, and I was like, I didn't know that was. And Ashley was dialed in, but she was like frozen almost. So that moment, I'm telling you guys, we talk about it all the time. When you're live during one of those live shows on a Thursday, or even more so on finale night when it's $750,000 at stake, your emotions, your pressure, it takes over, and you got to calm your heart rate down. You got to calm down and really think about what's going on and focus. And if it's your first time on TV like that, it's very difficult to do. Even I have trouble with that.
I remember
sometimes.
my hands shaking.
Yeah.
And like feeling cold, but sweaty, but I was cold. And it's just very nerve-wracking, because when you make it that far and you've spent so much time and you're there all season, you're like, I've made it this far. I just want to win the money now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's take another.
Do you think Ashley was throwing all the comps until she won final HOH? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, you can't win them all. I mean, and there were big competitors like Keanu and Morgan winning a lot of them. You don't have to win all of the competitions to win Big Brother. And obviously,
you just got to win when it's important at the end, just like you did. I think it's very similar, in that way. Like, So yeah, you just got to win when the time is right, and she did. And
Listen,
yeah,
if
she
you
got it all.
apply to be on Big Brother and you make it on Big Brother, play dead, line up with the right alliance, and then just make it have somebody always shield you, and then in the end win when you need to, and there you go.
It's a great strategy. It's not so much great television though.
Jordan, will you align with Ashley on the all winners season?
Ooh.
Oh, you mean like
If they
playing?
played again with an all winner
I
season.
wouldn't play Big Brother again. But sure, if anybody wants to align with me, I'll align with you.
Final 2 deals like
Yeah,
Vince.
there we go.
Just start throwing them out there.
I'm telling you, I'd do the same strategy. I'd go in the house, I'd play dead. I would just be like, I'm not playing this competition. I'd probably sit down or take a nap. And I'd be like Will, probably, and then have other people shield me. I would be super honest, and they could depend on me, and then try to win whenever I need to. I
There
would
you
play
go.
the same exact way.
We've got it.
Did you think the vote would end like that after their speeches? What did you think the split would be? After her speech, I told Jeff, I was like, oh, she's got this. I did kind of think, what's her name? Lauren. I thought Lauren might give Vinny a vote.
But he burned her.
I know, but they were a final 2. I didn't know. You never know if people change after being in the jury and just hanging out with everybody. I knew Keanu wouldn't give him the vote because he tried so many times.
I know, and he burned him. So would you say this was a bitter jury? Would you say that? I know Rachel emphasized that she said she did not want a bitter jury. But again, what is a good Big Brother player? Is it winning comps, or is it the social game and not getting put up? So Vinny did win more comps than her. You know what I mean? So, but then he stabbed.
His social game was off, and I
stabbed too many people in the back.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's how you play it. How do people perceive you during the season? All that matters is how your house guests perceive you.
Yep.
And they just thought Vinny played a messy game and gave it to Ashley. Again, I don't know if I'd call it bitter. I don't know if I'd call that a bitter
I don't
jury.
think they were bitter. Maybe Kelly seemed a little bitter.
She did seem
just
bitter because she was laughing.
Yeah, because he just kept screwing her over.
Yeah, he screwed over everyone who raised their hand. He screwed over.
It's
so
true.
He kind of got, in my eyes, got what he deserved. But he did win 75,000, so I think he's happy with that. Yeah,
it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Do they give y'all nail polish in the house, or did someone bring it in their bags? I think I brought nail polish. I believe I did. I think
they give you little things, especially towards the end. But I don't know how it is now. But as you get towards the end, if you're like, hey, didn't people ask for like face masks or certain little things for your health or hair care? You could get you could request little things.
Y'all want to know what the worst thing is that they give you? That toothpaste.
Oh, but our season was that. It was like recycling season or something.
Yeah, but what was that toothpaste?
Tom's.
Oh, yeah, it was so bad.
Remember Casey?
I felt like I had to brush my teeth 10 times for it to feel clean.
Remember Casey? If you guys remember Casey from us, he goes, what's with this Tom's bullshit? Because it was all about like, being, I don't know, environmentally friendly that season.
Yeah.
Did they used to have more jurors? No, I think there's always 9, right? Isn't there 9 jurors? Is it 7 jurors or 9 jurors?
I thought
7.
Yeah. Hang on. Well, you, Kevin, Russell?
Yeah, I think it's always 7. Jesse, I think it's always 7.
Michelle, that was 6. Am I missing one?
From my knowledge, it's always 7. Obviously, it's got to be an odd number, but I think it's always 7. And this season, they had more house guests, I think, than ever. They had 17 in there.
I know this season has felt like forever.
Yeah. Kind of sad it's over. Gives me something to do during the week.
I'm kind of glad it's over. Because I like, at this time, I like being in my bed. Who do y'all think is the biggest underrated BB player of all time?
Underrated?
Ooh. I wish I had like a picture board.
I know.
Because you just forget.
Last week, I got an answer for you. I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast or our other podcast. Paul, who is back to back when he played, made it to the final 2, and he lost to Josh and he lost to Nicole. And I think he could have won both of those seasons. And he gets no love from the BB community as like one of the greats. I think a lot of these people that are the kings and queens are a lot of self-proclaimed kings and queens. I think you need one king and one queen. But as far as underrated goes, I think Paul he made it back to back 2 times in a row to the final 2 and lost, when I think he could have won either of those seasons, and he doesn't get any love from that.
Yeah, I don't even remember Paul.
Remember Paul with the beard?
I do. I remember him, but I don't remember his gameplay at all. It was
That's
so
just
long
off the top of my
ago.
head. I'm sure there's 100 other people I could have named, but I brought him up a week or 2 ago, and he doesn't really have a big social media presence. Like, he's not on a lot, or at least I don't know. But I don't know. That's just my pick.
You're not on a lot either.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'm not. I'm neither. I'm not even the court jester anymore. But I did get a second on CBS, so there we go. Let's take another one.
Does third place get any money? You get is it considered per diem money? You get paid for every week that you're on.
Right. So if you make it to jury, basically per diem means they give you money for food and your bill. Like if you're on set for something, you get per diem money, which means you buy your own food, you can put yourself up, do whatever. It's kind of the same in Big Brother to help you pay your rent and things like that outside the house. It's not a lot of money. It's just enough to stabilize you while you're gone. And you get that as every week. That's every show. No matter what you do, you have to do that as a network. You got to give people per diem. So there is no money for third, but the third place is America's favorite. And I got third place twice then.
Good job. Have you gone back and watched your own season? Not all the way through. Like 13, I didn't want to because I feel like I would have so many emotions. 11, I've seen like here and there. They gave me these DVDs that I could watch. You get drunk and he'll sometimes watch clips and get in his feelings.
Yeah, I put it on. Yeah.
Jeff likes to get emotional and cry whenever he's drinking and wants to get in deep combos and then reminisce about the past. And then I'm like, love. Okay, I'm done. He's like, but this was so great. And you love
a lot of people made like amazing videos of us and put them on YouTube, and I loved it. So I get in. Yeah, we've never watched our complete season. I believe that was Danielle who wrote that. But we might do a recap episode and watch it, and we might film us watching so you guys could watch our reaction, because a lot of those things I forgot about, so we might actually do something like that. It was in the talk, so that's a little behind the scenes of what we might do in the future.
So many of you have requested that, so we are listening, and it would be nice to relive those moments, because that's like when I met you and I felt like there was a lot of drama in the house and we can kind of explain it.
Yeah, so we'll work out the details, but that's something that you guys asked for. We've definitely considered. I think it's something that we're going to do. We're just working out the details. So good question there, Danielle.
How can you possibly manage the jury when you are winning and nominating people?
Martin, how can you possibly manage the jury? Oh, I see what you're saying. So when you're in the game playing, how do you manage the jury? I only made it to 5th and 7th, so I didn't really worry about managing the jury, but it wasn't really, I just had to play the game that was in front of me. I wasn't like, if I vote this person out, they're not going to vote for me. I just hope my gameplay spoke enough that I would, if I didn't like someone, they knew it, like I'd tell them. So I
just wanted to play. I wasn't thinking that either. Like, oh, I'm going to evict this person. Now I'm not going to get a jury vote. Mine was more about being me and being myself and sticking to who I am outside of the house, in the house, and my integrity and being loyal and honest, because that's how I am in real life. So I knew that's how I wanted to be in the house. So that's all I cared about. And then if it happened and I made it that far, then people could say, oh, she was loyal and she was nice to me. I just treated everybody with respect. I felt like I did.
Yeah, and I think that's, if you play the game like that, kind of like Keanu said at the end, he didn't want to lose his integrity. I think if you play that kind of game, at the end, the votes will take care of themselves if you played a good enough game. And I think if Keanu made it to the end, he would have won because of how he treated everybody else in the house.
Even
that's just me. But I see a lot more people now, especially when I watch Big Brother thinking about those jury management and things like that.
Do you think the house guests right now are like, Oh, freedom. We're about to get our phones. We're about to go outside besides the Big Brother house. We get to have fun with no cameras following us.
I think there's a lot of drinks flowing, a lot of picture taken. It's a fun night. I mean, I remember vividly both times we got out of there, and it's such a relief just to talk to people and be social and meet everybody past and present from Big Brother and all the producers that you've been working with all year long. You get to meet. So
Yeah.
it really is a special night that these house guests will never forget. So congrats to everybody on the season. Let's take one more, and then we're going to get Richard in here.
Wouldn't you love to know what was going in Vince's head when he realized his girlfriend wasn't there?
Oh, was she
Oh.
not there? Did I miss that?
I didn't see that, but is that when they show their parents in the crowd? Normally, like, it'll
Oh,
show
yeah,
you're in
yeah.
the crowd, and underneath it'll say Jeff's family.
Oh, I forgot about that. So Vince is probably getting a download of what's happening. They do tell you, like, you do meet with like a therapist and things like that if you need to. There is a therapist on set there that will talk to you, and they kind of break down what the audience perceived of you, or what America, they brace you for that. So they tell you that when you get out.
Yes, like, after I won, they took me upstairs, and then it looks like a conference room, and I sat there, and then the therapist sits down with you, and there's other people that work on the show sitting down. They kind of debrief you and, like, listen, there's some things that are said about you, and kind of give you a heads up so you're not like, whoa, this was written about me, this article, people are saying
Yes.
this. So you have an idea what's coming on. So I'm sure they're already debriefed him. I assume that's what they used to do.
Right. I don't know how it is.
I don't know how it
anymore.
is now.
All right, so should we bring Richard in here?
Yeah,
so
let's
like
get
I said,
Richard
guys,
on.
so we planned this out because we thought Morgan was going to win, just like all you guys out there, and there wouldn't be a lot to talk about. So one of my buddies works with Richard, long story, and asked if he would come on because actually, let's bring him on and he'll explain what happened. So let's bring Richard James on right now. He's an astrologist. All right, we're trying to get him in here. All right, there he is.
There we go. How are you guys?
Buddy?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Very good. Very good. So, Richard, I want to introduce
Yeah.
you to everybody, to the audience. This is Richard James. He's an astrologist. He works with my buddy Shane. And you don't know anything about Big Brother.
Nothing. Never watched it in my entire life.
Okay, so so Shane asked you to come on. How did this all start? And then, you started to get the names and birth dates of everybody that was left when there was like 7 people, right?
Exactly. So, he had reached out and was just like, hey, I have an idea. I'd love for you to look at the Big Brother house guests, and I would like you to see who do you think has an opportunity of winning or has the best chance of winning based upon their astrology. And so we pulled their birthdays, and when we were at about 7 people, immediately, the first person that jumped out was Morgan. And again, I've never watched the show before. This was not something that I never had seen. I wasn't really familiar with how the show operated. I really, in the past week, had watched the episode, so I kind of have an understanding of what was happening. But when I had made my predictions, I had no idea. And so, we put that together, and I filmed a video for social media talking about, who I thought stood a chance. And who we thought would be in the final 3, and who then I thought would, end up with the money at the end of the day.
And what did you predict the final 3 and who would win the money?
Because it was by her birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all by birthday, not by watching the show at all.
Nothing. So it was Vince, Ashley, and Morgan were my top 3. And
Really?
Yep. And, Vince is difficult because we don't have his birthday. So I had to do a lot of kind of deep diving into the fact that I knew he was 34. I knew he was a Capricorn. And I was like, okay, let me play with some of his, what could possibly play with this person's energy. And the moment that I was looking at him, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is definitely not a winner's chart. And the joke that I cracked was, again, I don't know anything. And I said, but he definitely is about to go through a major breakup if he's in a relationship. because this specific thing that he has going on right now, I don't think I've seen many couples truly navigate that in a very clean way. It's very difficult to go through such a transit because that's what we call it in astrology, is a transit, because it's a self-love time, not a time for a relationship. And what ends up happening is that it separates two people. And I shared that with Shane, and he was like, yeah, you need to see the show so you know what's happening here.
What?
Yeah. And number 2 was Ashley. And the thing with Ashley is in my recording, I talk about, I actually really liked her energy going into it. I really, really did. She's a Sagittarius. And I liked it. There was nothing against her that was negative that I was like, it's, she has this or nothing bad. It was just when I saw Morgan's birthday, immediately, she's born on the 25th of September. And the eclipse is on the 21st of September. And when I saw that connection, I was like, she's got a lot of opportunity here for her. And I'm going to say this, I wouldn't be surprised outside of Big Brother. She could have a massive opportunity that comes out of this now for her. Because eclipses change people's lives, especially when it's really close to your birthday. And so really it was Ashley and Morgan were my 2 picks. And it was kind of cool to see it though, because, unfortunately I love everyone who, from Shane, he talked about Keanu, loves Keanu. He was the first one I kicked out. I felt so bad. And I was like, he was the first person I was able to remove. And I felt so bad. And I was like, oh no, I was like, I don't want to be that person. But he didn't, like, really, there was no, compared to Ashley and Morgan, Keanu was not even in that midst of being able to compete with them in astrology. So it was cool to see. And I had Keanu, then Ava, then Vinny, and then Ashley and Morgan were my final 2. That was my original prediction of how I saw it playing out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
So is there, I know you don't know the game of Big Brother, but is there, I wonder if there, so now we have 27 winners. I wonder if there's something astrologically, something that connects those winners, like maybe their birthday or what sign they are. So what
I
month
did some
would you
research on
say-
this, actually. I actually researched this. I did, because I was actually curious. And this was after I did my research, and truly it was because of Vinny. Vinny was a very difficult character to crack. And when I came to see, Capricorns and Cancers tend to be the top 2 winning signs on Big Brother. And
you looked at it?
Yeah, and I believe it's 4 Capricorns and 3 Cancers, or it's 4. It's really close between the both of them. And and so that was interesting because he's a Capricorn. And so I thought to myself, does he have it in him? But then when I saw, I was like, yeah, no, he can't. He's definitely not going home with, it didn't look good for him. So yeah.
He won America's favorite though. Does that, he won America's favorite player.
Keanu did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, Keanu, and what's fun? He totally, honestly, like in his chart, and I actually, when I put up the video, I left a little message and I tagged him. 2026 is beautiful for him. And so he definitely, this is just like the tip for him of something immense coming for him. Him and Morgan have some amazing energy coming. It just wasn't his September. September's energy wasn't supportive for him in that way, but it'll get better for him as the months progress.
I believe
Richard, when you meet people, are you like, wait, you're a Gemini or a Sagittarius, we can't be friends? Or do you ask everybody their birthday?
What's funny is I actually love playing a game. So when I go out for like dinner or I go out for a drink, I'll play a game and I'll be like, I want to guess your sign, and I'll have fun with it. And so what also happens is once people know that astrology, they want to know everything. They're like, what's my moon sign? What's my rising sign? What's going on here? What's going on here? It's such a conversation starter, for sure.
Did you look up Julie Chen by any chance?
I did not look at her chart, actually. I actually don't even know. I don't know what her birthday is. No.
Hold on. Let's do it right now. I'm going to get
Wait, do you know it off
Julie Chen's birthday?
I don't know her birthday.
Okay, so Julie Chen was born January 6, 1970.
Capricorn.
How do you feel about her energy?
The thing about, I always say this, Capricorns mean, there's a sense of they mean business. Like, I actually feel like a Capricorn's a great person for her position in particular, that's a boss. That's someone that knows what there's a boss-like quality to someone that has strong Capricorn energy.
Is there
Yeah,
ever anything in astrology where it's like, ooh, that's not really good? You're not really compatible, or is it all positive?
This is what I look at. I look at things like nothing is ever going to be perfect, and you don't want something to be perfect. And you actually want room to grow. No matter what we do, you need opportunity for, like in a relationship, for two people to grow. So I never look at things like, oh no, like you're a Scorpio and you're a Gemini. Those two signs never get along. I don't do that because it's just simply not true, because there's also a whole other world in the chart that comes through. And sometimes, the Scorpio might need the Gemini or vice versa. There's lessons that we all can integrate together. So I try to actually wipe away those stereotypes when it comes to that type of stuff and kind of welcome it in and be like, it doesn't matter when you're born, in the sense of whether you're this sign or this sign. In astrology, it's so much more dense and there's so much more meat to it all. And it's also kind of like, what do you want to learn from this person? Everyone you meet is a lesson. Everyone you come into contact to is an opportunity for you to learn and grow.
I love that.
So
Okay, wait, you
okay.
got to tell, what about Jeff?
Well, you got both of Shane gave you our
Yes.
birthdays and our times we were born and things like that. What did you find
Sure.
out about us?
So I have two. So what I tried to do is pull out two interesting facts or energies that come from both of your charts. And so with Jeff, immediately I also just want to preface this again. I had no idea of either of you. I don't know what seasons you guys were on. I actually didn't even know that Jordan won. I was listening and I was like, oh, she won. I was like, this is cool. When I looked at Jeff's chart, what's very strong in your chart immediately, and I texted this to Shane, I said, hey, what's going on with his mom? And I was like, he's got major mom energy going on right now. And I was like, I'm really interested in what's going on with mom. And this would have been something from the beginning of summer. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, I'm just interested. Like, this is a big conversation that's going on in his life. And I said, one more thing, Shane. I was like, I feel like his mom is his best friend. And then he was like, oh, we have to talk. I was like, you need to tell him this. You need to talk to him about this. And in that moment, he had shared with me over the phone that just recently your mom had passed away. And yes. I just want to say two different things. I feel so deeply. My mom passed away earlier this year as well. And it's a very emotional journey to experience. And I have so much empathy for the journey of grief. And I say it is one of the most challenging and one of the most beautiful at the same time. And there's no one better to have around you than a Scorpio to navigate the chapter of loss and grief, because they have the ability to sit with you with those emotions, whatever those emotions might be. And so there's a beauty to that. And the second thing I just want to say is, in astrology, I don't predict loss like that. That was not my intention. I just knew that the theme of the mother was so strong for you. And that she was your best friend. And that was very much written in the stars when you were born. And it's a really cool thing to see in someone's chart when you have that. And I think it's a part of who you are, being a Gemini. The other thing I was going to say is I really was excited for you because in 2026 in your chart, we're setting you up for like a really nice opportunity with work, business, and money. And this is like, it's going to feel like a shift, because there could have been a different pace of energy for you for a little bit, but that's going to kind of go to the curb and things are going to change next year. And where it almost feels like good work opportunities, good money opportunities. And ironically, the same energy tied to money is happening to Jordan, because all of the eclipses are happening for her in her money houses. So y'all are coming into some really magical times individually, which then obviously helps everyone. And so it's kind of cool to see that you have that going on for yourself. And there's a thing that we have in astrology called your Jupiter return. It's one of the most serendipitous times. It happens once every 12 years. And Jeff is going through that right now. And it's a cycle that you've gone through, and you're going to get a little bit more of this energy next year. You'll get another kind of a wind of serendipity that can come forward for you. And so I think that is going to pave way to a lightness for you. It could be the optimism, the hope, that type of feeling of doors opening for you. So it was really exciting for me. And so if things have felt heavy, I feel like you have a really exciting, optimistic, hopeful future coming for you, especially when it comes to work and money.
I needed to hear
And
that.
so everybody knows we did not talk before here. He had no idea about his mom.
We talked for like a minute right before we started.
you came on.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's and I just, again, I think it shows the power, I think, in astrology. You know, we can always look at specific placements and we can say, wow, this describes how you were loved by your mother. This describes your relationship with your mother, which then shows how you show up in your relationships, for an example, emotionally. And yours is just so strong. You have so many placements that indicate such a strong mother dynamic. And then the last note that I made for Jeff next to your work was with your father. It's good energy for you. It's a strong placement for developing like a deeper, stronger connection relationship. You have good. This is a great time for you to enhance that relationship, and this has nothing to do with what I was talking about originally when I saw mom. It's just the chapter, the cycle that you're in right now is about a focus on dad, and so
he's in the other room right now visiting.
Hi, Dad.
Aw.
There we go.
Wow.
I needed to hear all that stuff.
Yes, you needed to hear something positive.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're compatible. We're
Oh,
all right.
you know what's so cool is that in for you, Jordan has a Cancer moon. And I love that moon sign for you because I think that is exactly what Jeff needs. Because Cancer moons have access to an immense amount of emotions, and it gives you a power. And I feel like sometimes for you, it's almost like balancing his, especially now with everything that he has going on. It's a great balancing placement for him to hold space, to make him feel safe, to make him feel comfortable. All of those emotions, a Cancer moon can do that. It's an amazing mother placement and an amazing caretaker. It's kind of like the mama bear. Yeah.
Yes.
But that is her.
Yeah, it totally. And the other thing that for you in particular, I'd be interested for you, Jordan, it's in a placement for you that rules like health and wellness for you as well. So like taking care of yourself, going to the gym, having structure, having order could be very important for you. And that could be a form of security for you, right? It's almost like I need to have things organized and structured and clean. And if you don't have it that way, it could feel like things are off for you. You're like, hold up, we need to do a clean check. Like things need to kind of look this way or whatever it might be, right? But it's important for you. It makes you feel good when things are kind of put together, knees are nice and neat and clean.
Wild.
Wow.
That is wild. All of this just from telling you my birthday
Well,
and the time I was born.
Well, we're gonna do more, James or Richard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we want to have you on the podcast and come on again. Tell everybody how they can book with you.
Totally. So you could go to my website, which is richardjamesastrology.com, or you could go to my Instagram, which is at richardjamesastrology. And I have a link where you can click it and you can find all my information for booking, podcast, everything is on there as well.
All right, Richard, we're going to go deeper. We're going to let you go. Thanks for taking the time. But before we let you go, so for next season, this is far off.
Yeah.
You're saying that there is a certain month for Big Brother. So next season, be on the lookout for somebody born in a certain date.
It'd be interesting. Right away when they release the season and we know when they're going to launch and we know the contestants, it'd be interesting to look at all of them and we can kind of see compared to when the season finale is, who's kind of in alignment with that finale. So you could definitely look at that and kind of play some, play some astrologists and kind of play with it and see how it comes together. Totally.
All right. Well, we'll do that. But like I said, we're going to have you on the podcast, on a regular podcast, and we could dive deeper.
Perfect. Awesome. I appreciate everyone listening and hearing this out. I appreciate the both of you. It was so much fun.
Thanks, buddy. We'll talk real soon. We'll talk real soon.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
I hit that. Whoa, that's so wild.
I know, but it's crazy. Like I said, we wanted Richard to come on because he did predict Morgan to win. Obviously, that didn't happen just from the energy, but that's why we had him come on and we got down a little bit into that conversation. But I needed to hear that too. So I hope you guys stuck around to listen to just a brief breakdown. I know there's a lot more that Shane said that we had to talk about, but we'll do it on a regular podcast.
And a lot of you listen to our podcast episodes on Mondays and on Wednesdays. So you kind of know what we've been going through this past year. So that was very interesting to hear.
Exactly. I think he's great, and I can't wait to have him on. But let's wrap up a couple more questions, I think, just to stay on the Big Brother theme. And then I know a lot of you guys are still in there wanting to get your questions answered. This is the last one. We'll go a little bit longer and take some more questions from the audience if that's cool with our producers. Oh, there we go.
What did you both think of Vince's breakdown during the HOH comp?
Oh my God, when he hid behind the wall.
Oh, his breakdown. I was like, wait, what? Listen, I did kind of feel bad because I was like, oh no, you're just not reading it right. And that could have changed the whole game if he would have won that. Because then him and Morgan would have
totally.
went against
but then
each
Morgan
other.
would have beat him.
But I mean, I could feel his pain when you're trying to figure it out and you don't know. And you're like, I know the answer.
And he studied all season long. And it was just the simple way of it. Again,
it's
in
that
those
pressure.
Moments, you got to stop and slow everything down and say, what does this say here? You know, and I'm telling myself the same things. When I played, I was out of control and, you know, did everything fast, obviously, but you really got to take those moments and calm down. Am I reading this right? That's more important than the speed. Just like Keanu showed all season. He took that time. And then the one time he didn't, which was his whole game downfall, is when he's messing around with Vinny holding that stick of the mastermind, and he's talking about
and that
stuff.
Could have changed.
And he dropped it the one time he wasn't dialed in, you know, and that's what happened. So
it's like things are meant to be when they're meant to be.
Yeah. All right, let's take another one.
Jeff, my husband and I really want you to take over and be the no host of Big Brother. Would you be interested in that at all?
Oh,
Big Brother is not.
I really appreciate that. One, I'm actually shocked they even showed me for 1 second on there today. So that was good. And two, Julie Chen is the host of that show. When she's done, the show is done. You can't have it any other way. You can't have someone fill in those shoes. Jerry O'Connell came in, you know, and hosted a little bit. It's not the same. And I think Jerry did a great job. I think Jerry's a funny guy. It's just if Amazing Race wouldn't be Amazing Race without Phil Kogan. Survivor wouldn't be Survivor without Jeff Probst. Yeah. So it's like those guys are etched in stone. There's no one else that could fill those shoes. So to me, once Julie's done, the show is done. But I really appreciate you guys even thinking that.
Are you guys still friends with Rachel? I haven't talked to Rachel in years. There's nothing happened. There's no drama. There's nothing. So whenever I was on Big Brother, like the first time, whenever I got home, I went right back working at the salon. Then we got asked to do Amazing Race. And then I went back right after Amazing Race and went back to work at the salon. And I would always do that. They would let me leave and I'd go back and work at the salon. I never got involved in like the Big Brother world, like people going to like meetups, whatever they're called.
Like meet and greets.
And I think that's when other players do that. That's where people form a bond and they really connect. Because I really don't know a lot of people. So like outside of that, I kind of stayed away from that just because I don't know. I just go back to work in my normal life because I don't know, it keeps you grounded, it keeps you humbled and things like that. But I was nothing ever happened. I wish Rachel the best. I think she's great for reality television. I think she's made for it. I think we will see her again, either on Survivor or on something else that is going on. And, you know, like I said,
I think we just had two different trajectories. You know what I mean? Like Jordan said, I think a lot of the old Big Brother players do a lot of things, whether it's cruises or meet and greets and things like that. And my trajectory was, I wanted to get out of the reality television because we did do enough of it and really focus on being considered a host, a television host, whether it's for CBS or Daily Blast, whatever it was. And I wanted to make that my career. I didn't want to lean back into reality. I wanted to be a professional host and move that direction. So we kind of stayed away from that. I know when I worked at CBS, I was in touch with all those people, but I didn't really hang out with I hung out with some of them socially, but not a lot of them socially. And I just like to keep my world tight, my friends tight. And I just think that was my direction, and that's Rachel's direction. So
I had one person tell me like it was a very long time ago. He was like, "You'll never get something outside of the reality world because it's so hard to get out of it once you're in it.
Right.
And if you want people to take you seriously, I wasn't trying to host or anything, but meaning you, like he was like, if Jeff wants to be a host, he's got to get out of that if people want to take him seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I did do that, with that 7-year run with Daily Blast Live. And I think I put myself into a different level, but now the market's not what it used to be. So
it's television, you have to, there's a lot of our friends that have worked on a lot of shows, and it's, you're just thankful each year that you have a job because you never know when that show's going to get canceled.
Yeah. And I think Rachel's built for reality television. I think that's her calling, and she's great at it. And people, whether you love her or hate her, she's great to watch. She's great entertainment. So that's that.
Jeff, when they started bringing out the masterminds, I really thought you'd be one of them still mad about the clown shoe. Keanu
Thanks,
kept
Miranda.
saying you were a mastermind.
Somebody sent me that.
Y'all
that
were
Keanu,
tagging me that.
And you know what? Again, you guys who've been on all year with us, I was laughing. I was snickering at you guys for thinking that the mastermind was actually a person. I thought it was like a Zing bot or something like that. And then it turns out we saw that thing with the conspiracy that it might be Rachel. And then I started like, maybe the mastermind is somebody. And it turns out it was 3 somebody. So you guys were right who did assume that right away. I kind of laughed it off, but you guys were right.
I know. You guys know.
It did for a second when they showed me on there. I'm like, oh, I bet you people think I'm going to come out next.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like when I was watching, and I was here, not there. All right, let's take it.
Is it hard to socialize anxiety when you get out?
When I got out, I think maybe both, you want to talk to everybody. Like you've been trapped in a house around the same people, and just having a conversation with somebody is so amazing. Like, oh my God. And they're like, oh man, I watch you do this. And you're like, wait, you watched the show? It's like so mind blowing that everybody knows what you're talking about, even though you don't know who that person is.
I can't remember because so much was going on. We got our phones back, and I had a flip phone that there was no internet on it. I had like a old school, and me and you got numbers, or did we not exchange numbers because I was getting pulled in one direction? Finale night, we did not even talk because I was getting pulled in one direction. You were getting pulled in another, and then you left with your brother, and then they had me leave
because you had to get up early.
Yeah, with the security person. And then I remember saying that I would stay, but we hadn't talked.
And I called you 800 times, and your phone was dead.
I don't remember. But my mom, I don't think, paid my phone bill. That's that's what I think it was. I was with Sprint. Is Sprint even a thing anymore? So I did not. My mom didn't pay my phone bill, and I think they disconnected my phone. So then when I got off the show, I was like, you didn't pay my phone bill? And so then I had to wait to pay it for the months I was gone.
Because I remember I called you we talked after, but it was so much.
No, we didn't like talk
because it was chaos. There were so many people wanting to take pictures and talking, and like it's all the producers, and your mind is spinning because everything's hitting you at once. And then you left and I left, and I called you 800 times that night because I stayed up to like 6:30, 7 in the morning at my friend's house who I used to live with.
I remember just like wanting to talk to you so bad off camera, like no cameras around, and then just find out what jury was like for you. And then I remember my mom and them leaving, and my phone got cut back on, and they were like, my mom's like, you haven't talked to him. And I was a waitress.
And I was like, man, Jordan played me, dude, the whole time.
And I had I don't even know what I had in my account then. I had no money. And I think my mom left me like $200 or something. And I, because I was gone on Big Brother, and then you don't get your check right away. They mail it to you. And they were like, my mom's like, are you okay here by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And I remember they left to fly back to Charlotte, and I was thinking, oh my God, what if Jeff doesn't call me? Where am I going? I got $200 in my account. And then I met up with you and I made you pay for everything.
Yeah, it was wild. It was so crazy. It was
And
so
then-
crazy.
But it paid off because I told Jeff, we made like a little bet, like if one of us won, what we would buy each other.
Yeah.
And then I fulfilled my end of the deal. I got you
LASIK eye surgery.
and now he needs it
And
again.
it's fading. That's how long it's been. All right, let's take a couple more and then we'll wrap this up.
What do you all think about Vince saying in his final questions that Lauren was his best friend? Morgan's face was not happy. And frankly, I was like, wow. I really do think Vince believed like Lauren and him were tight because he was loyal at first to Lauren throughout the game.
He did her dirty.
He
though.
did. But I did not like during, what was it? It was that competition that Rachel got out when he risked Lauren's game.
Right.
But that's when I was like, wait, what? But he was, I think, in his mind thinking he was loyal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what Vinny's thinking right now. I mean, right now as we're speaking.
Yeah.
Because he's probably got the news now that his girlfriend left and he's probably trying to call. And then Morgan, I don't know if there's something there. I mean, if his girlfriend left, you think they'll be together in some capacity?
I don't know. It makes, again, I don't want anybody to feel sad or like be upset. You know, in the end, it is just a game. So
Well, this is life outside the game, you know, and he chose to make those decisions. So it's not like we're bagging on him or anything. It's just like he made those decisions. He said, he's like, I don't think I did anything immoral. So I don't know. I mean, you said that if I've done that, you would be really
I think you know
upset.
your relationship.
Yeah, so maybe
with
he has a
someone.
different kind of
maybe
relationship.
their relationship's different. We don't know. But if him and his girlfriend aren't together, I know in that house you really do bond. So maybe him and Morgan have some type of bond because she gave him that vote.
Yeah, she did, man, and she ended up with nothing. Let's take another one.
How do they choose jury questions? Seem like Rachel, Will, Ava had questions for Ashley that led to her great answers. I think the producers make the.
No, you do.
You do?
Trust me.
I'm
I'm a professional jury member, Big Brother. No, so what happens is once the final jury's made, obviously not, like Morgan's not involved in that. The third person isn't involved in that. But you all sit together and you come up with questions of who wants to ask what. So you come up with those questions on your own. The producers say, hey, you guys take your time, write down what you want and figure out who's going to ask each person what, and you guys divvy them up. So those questions are all strictly based on the jury. At least it was the 2 times I was on. So they told us, like, this is all coming from you guys. You guys figure it out. You guys ask the questions that you want answered. Obviously, have a diversity of questions so you get a more rounded idea. But these are the questions. You each get one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was. So, and then I'm like, oh, like for ours, I forgot what I asked, but I'm like, I definitely ask. I'm like, I'm going to ask Jordan this, and they'll be like, well, no, that's too leading. You got to ask her why she made this move. And then you agree on the answer of what I'm going to ask. You know what I mean?
And then don't they normally have somebody who's not with you ask? Because I know Russell like asked me a question.
Yeah, I don't know
But
how.
I
I forgot,
vote.
but we came up with the questions as a
Okay.
jury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't make any questions.
Yeah, because you made it to the finals both times.
Why don't they do backyard interviews anymore? Oh, I thought they still did.
They don't? Even like there's no press back there, Marcy? Thanks for asking. I'm like, you're going to answer.
I thought they still did that. That was kind of like the whole thing. After you debrief, then you got to do your interviews in the backyard. You used to be back there.
Oh, I loved it. I used to get everybody, like, if you guys remember those dollar store gifts, because that's all I could afford. So, but that I give something to represent. But when I was doing it all those years, there was many out, like Entertainment Tonight was there.
Yeah.
Us Weekly was there. There was like 5 or 6 outlets. There was a couple podcasts or whatever, YouTube shows. So there was like, I want to say like 7 or 8 outlets back there, even when I was on the show and then working after the show. And we were like the main one, obviously being for CBS. But I don't know, because there's no after show anymore. There's no Big Brother after show like that I used to host. It's the Unlocked thing now, and that's not really stable. It's every other week. And I'm sure they're going to interview. And Taylor does,
So
I
then
think,
who
interviews for Entertainment Tonight.
So then who interviews them?
I think Taylor will. Like Julie will do her interview, but then
But they don't get additional press. That
Yeah, I'm
doesn't seem
sure
right.
they do. I'm sure, but I don't know what it's like anymore. Again,
I don't know. We're out of the loop,
CBS,
guys.
us, Circle of Trust. We're over here.
Let's do one more.
Well, yeah.
Did you think Morgan was clingy on Zach and Vince? It seemed manipulated.
Morgan was clingy with Zach and Vince.
Gosh, I don't even remember now.
Oh, she was kind of like on Vince, or I mean on Zach a little bit. I forgot about that because Zach was trying to get with Lauren, and then it seemed like Morgan was paying more attention. I totally forgot about that too.
Oh yeah, that is right. You think Zach and Morgan might connect? Or
I don't know.
Zach and Lauren could connect after the show. You never know.
You never know. What are you gonna do?
Jeff's watching football.
This
while
game
we're doing
ended
this
in a
live.
tie. It's 40-40, and it ended. That's lame.
They don't go in overtime.
I wish I would have bet that the game would have ended.
All right, well, let's end this. So,
all right, let's do one more. Let's do one more and wrap this up. Nah, Ian's already wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're done.
All right, guys. Yeah, we stayed on a little bit longer.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for tuning in every Thursday. We appreciate you guys so much. We're trying to work things out so we can continue, do some other recaps.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. Don't forget Mondays and Wednesdays are regular podcast episodes. We had a special guest today, Trista Sutter from The Bachelor. She was here at our house. So be on the lookout for that interview, all things Bachelor. It was actually really fun.
And like I said, I think moving forward, we might do what you guys suggested. I think it was Danielle, of us watching our own season. That'll be just for people who watch Big Brother. Obviously, our main audience won't care about that, but we do want to get Keanu on at some point and get his thoughts of the game, and hopefully some other people too.
Hopefully we don't have to go through so many hoops.
Yeah, this time I don't have to write CBS, so I can just contact fucking Keanu on my own. Sorry. But yeah, so thank you guys. It's been a fun season. Thanks for tuning in with us and sticking with us late night like tonight. So it's been a great season. Hopefully we pick it back up next year. And thanks for tuning in, and check us out every Monday and Wednesday, like Jordan said.
Bye.